Welcome back to my channel, guys. For those of you who are new, I'm the marketing nomad. Now, after I posted this video, a lot of you asked me, how do you actually get started in freelancing in India? So I decided I would make this entire video and kind of show you the steps that I took personally when I started freelancing. Alright guys, without further ado, let's get right to it. Okay, so now the first step that you really need to understand about freelancing is you need to set your goals. Are you going to be doing this part-time? Are you going to quit your job, your full-time job, and start working on this? So you need to set your goals. So basically, I started this phase about 2 months before I actually started freelancing, and that was actually how I managed to get my client even before I stepped into India. All right, guys? So make sure that you are setting goals. And these not necessarily have to do with income. They can also be how many proposals you're going to be sending out per day, how many clients are you going to be talking per week, how many businesses are you going to cold email. So these are goals that you need to set. So you need to figure out what are your goals, and your goals also have to be reasonable. And I actually prepped for my freelancing even before I was out of a job. So that is a huge tip that I do have for you. If you are planning for freelancing, make sure that you are planning it well in advance, and possibly you have a job at that time of your planning so that once it actually starts kicking off, you can then focus completely on your freelancing. Okay, so the first one is set your goals. So basically, these are like your overall sales goals, I would call them. So once you finish setting these goals, you can understand how you're gonna go about it and how your journey is going to look like. And also, what are the kind of efforts you're gonna be putting in as well. So these are a bunch of things that you really need to think about, and it took me some time to plan this out completely and think about it, because getting into freelancing is a huge life decision that you need to make, and you need to be aware of the amount of effort that goes into it. And it's not how people say that, oh my god, you're gonna earn $10,000 within a fortnight or something like that. No, it takes a lot of time to get there, and you need to be aware of that slow initial growth especially. So the first thing is to set your goals. The second thing is to kind of identify what are you good at. Now, for me, a big mistake that I did when I first started out was I listed everything possible that I was good at. And what that does is that actually confuses you and your potential clients as well. So what I would highly recommend, and this is something that I wish I had done when I first started out, is to come up with only 3 things that you are good at. If you are really, really good at one thing, I would say yes, just pick that niche. But for the sake of a backup, I would say keep 3 in your mind. 3 things that you're good at, 3 services that you can offer to your clients. For me, I had a list of at least 15, which was a headache. Now, the reason why I say you have to niche down into these 3 is that it's easier for you to cold email, it's easier for you to send proposals, it is easier for you to just hyper focus into clients that actually need those services. All right, so if you have a wide spectrum of services that you offer, you're just gonna be so confused and waste a lot of time sending various different proposals when you can actually be niching down and sending one type of proposals to a bunch of clients and then move on to your next niche. But as time goes, of course, you can expand the services that you offer, you can expand the skill sets that you have. But when you start out, I highly recommend starting out with 3, just 3, okay? So this was a mistake that I made, and it took me quite some time to learn it. After a month of doing all these shenanigans, I realized that it was not working out and it was just complicating my life, which, as you all know, which, as you guys know, I absolutely hate doing. So basically, niche down into 3. So what are you good at? Take some time, list out. And while you are listing out these things that you're good at, also kind of do a little bit of research as to what is the price range that people are willing to pay for these services. Is it in demand? Are there a lot of freelancers out there who are also providing the same kind of skill set? So make sure that what you are offering has to be a little bit unique, but at the same time, you have to make sure that there is demand for it, okay? And back kind of brings me to my next point, and that is to do your research. Now, doing your research not necessarily just means about finding whether your audience wants this skill set or wants these services. It's also about figuring out what is the price point for these particular services that you can offer. So during this stage, you're kind of identifying what would be the price range that you are setting. And this also kind of ties in with your goals, because now you have to find out how many projects you need per month to hit your monthly income goals. Okay, so that kind of ties in with your prices, what you're good at, how much people are willing to pay for those skill sets, and whether there is a demand for it as well. So all of these 3 points kind of tie in together, and they need to be done before you even get your profile set up anywhere. The more time you take to think about this, to research about this, and to ponder about this, the easier it is for you to quickly start hitting your income goals when you get started. So this is a huge pro tip that I do have for you. It took me 2 months to set all of these up. It might take shorter for you, but I highly recommend making sure that you have covered every aspect of these 3 things. I'm just gonna reiterate. The first one is to set your goals. The second one is what are you good at. Third one is to kind of do your research. Find the prices, find the skill sets that are needed, find the services that your clients are, find out where your clients are hanging out, and also figure out how much people are willing to pay for these services everywhere. However, on a side note, I do want to say that when you first start out, you might not be able to match the prices that other freelancers are setting for themselves, but you will get there eventually, and it just takes a little bit of patience and takes a little bit of time to kind of build that clientele. But if you follow these steps, you'll be good to go. Okay, so the next step is actually super important, and it absolutely boosted my performance as a freelancer, and that is to set up a website. You really need a portfolio website as a freelancer, because that is kind of proof of how awesome you are. So set up a website. Now, I personally used Wix. It was free to start with, and I was able to play around with the features and kind of understand whether it was worth the investment. And Wix, to be honest, is absolutely cost effective, and I would highly recommend that as a website platform for anyone and everyone who wants something that's cost effective, who can't really afford to invest that much in the beginning. Highly recommend it. So I used Wix, and I know a lot of people say that the features on Wix is limited, but to be honest, I have used it for 1.5 years, and even though I've upgraded my plans, it is more than sufficient to use the basic version, the free version, when you are starting out. And of course, as your business grows, you will be able to invest in opting for the monthly plan. So when you first start out, use the free version. It's absolutely awesome. The features are good enough. And as you get higher and you use the paid versions, even those features are good enough, and the price is still so cost effective. Okay, so where was I? I was talking about your portfolio website. I talked a little bit about what are the essentials of a portfolio website in this video, so make sure you check it out when you're free. Alright, so the next thing is to set profiles every single goddamn place. Alright, whether it is any freelancing websites that you find, just put your profile up there. And before that, take some time to draft out what you are good at, what are your educational credentials, I would say, and why your clients should hire you. If you keep talking about your skill sets, they're not going to be impressed. You got to talk about how your skill sets are going to benefit them. And that has made me stand out on a lot of freelancing websites. So always talk about how your services benefit the other person instead of just saying how awesome you are. Now, this step takes a little bit of time for the sole reason that it takes a lot of time to write your own profile, and you will keep second guessing yourself, and it will just take a long time to write, because that is generally a problem. Writing about yourself is always a little bit hard, but if you guys want a video on how to write a profile, let me know. I will help you guys out. Okay, so once you've figured out your profile, and I would say even if your first draft sucks, it's okay, just put it out there and you will be able to improvise it as time goes. The first draft that I started out absolutely sucked, and then I got better at it as I understood what my clients are looking for in the profile. The next reason why this process takes so long is because you need to get your ID verified, and you also need to kind of link your payment gateways as well. So those things take a lot of time. And guys, do not forget to get your ID verified. And the reason is this: since this is online, there is obviously a stigma and there is so much of apprehension about just hiring someone online, hiring someone you have not met at all. And it's very understandable. So when you have your ID verified, when you have your payment gateway identified, it just makes things a little bit easier for your clients to trust you, okay? So make sure that this you don't skip. You take the time. If they reject, I think I was rejected like 3 times for my ID on one particular freelancing website, make sure you follow it up and you just call customer care, work through that problem, and make sure you get your ID verified. Super, super important, guys. Now, okay, so we've figured out our IDs, and now the next step is actually pretty interesting, and this is something that most people forget, and that is to tell every single person you know, okay? If it is your mother's, sister's, daughter's, husband's, I don't know, maybe cousin, tell him as well, okay? And that is, I think, one of the easiest things for Indians because we have such large communities, and well, these things just spread like wildfire, okay? So when I first started out with freelancing, my parents told every single person they knew, like even someone they met on the street. I'm not kidding, it was so embarrassing. But even if they were buying vegetables from the grocery store, they told them that I was doing marketing and I would help them. And I'm like, Mom, stop, please. Embarrassing. But of course, love them so much. You never know who needs you. Tell as many people as possible. And that is something my parents did for me. You can share it on your social media, share it constantly. Keep reminding people that you are a freelancer because these things kind of slip mind. Of course, there's so many things to worry about. They're not gonna be, constantly worrying about the fact that you are a freelancer, regardless of who that is. So keep reminding people, keep telling them that you are a freelancer, keep reminding them of the services that you do offer. Now, reminding them leads me to my next point, and that is to make sure that you have some sort of content going out there that makes people recognize you as a freelancer. Okay, so for me, I deal mainly with marketing strategy and branding. So most of the stuff that you see on my Instagram page are about marketing strategy and branding. Whoever looks at me, they absolutely just know right off the bat that I am a strategist, a marketing strategist to be particular, and I deal with branding as well, okay? So make sure that wherever you are, you could be on LinkedIn, you could be on Instagram, choose 1 or 2 places. I would say keep LinkedIn as a top priority because that platform, so good. Okay, so whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram or both of them or Facebook, choose maybe 2 of these places and keep generating content that your audience would be looking for. This is also another great way for them to find you and for you to keep reminding people that you are a freelancer. And it also reminds them of what you are specializing in. So up until now, you've kind of got a sense of how you want to set it up. So you're pretty much good to go at this point. From this point to the end of the video, what I'm going to be talking about is also super important because without that, you are not going to get a consistent inflow of clients, okay? And that is super important for a freelancer. Getting your first job is not important. Getting multiple jobs consistently is what is important. The most important thing about freelancing is routine. You need to be absolutely strict with yourself. You need to set a routine for yourself. And the reason is this: for freelancing, if you don't work today, your next month is going to suffer, and so on and so forth. So if I don't consistently work towards sending out proposals or talking to clients, consultation calls, dedicating time for that, I'm not going to be having any clients the next month. I can absolutely guarantee that. So you work today so that your tomorrow, hypothetical tomorrow, is secure. That is the idea of freelancing and basically life, I guess. So that brings me to my next point. You need to spend some time marketing yourself, and that is super important for a freelancer, because all said and done, you are going to be your own personal brand. You are basically building your own personal brand as a freelancer. Now, the next one is, again, super important, and is probably the thing that ties up the entire video, and that is to constantly be in sales mode. And when I say be in constant sales mode, I mean that you should be building relationships with every single person that you meet. You never know who's gonna refer you, you never know who may need you. So be nice to everyone, be engaging with everyone, and don't discount anyone for that matter. So you are always going to be on sales mode, but that just does not mean that you have to be salesy all the time. It just means that you have to be building relationships with people, you have to be building your network 24/7. Okay, and I think that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope that this was super helpful. If you guys want a particular topic that you want me to focus more on and do maybe another video, I would be happy to do so. Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video and this video was super helpful to you, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, guys, because I need all of your support. Alright guys, until my next video, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you with another marketing. No, I actually have the vlog coming out. I completely forgot. So I have a vlog coming out on Friday, and I'm actually shooting a video of me taking a video. So it's just a little bit of an insight about my life as a YouTuber and an entrepreneur and a freelancer as well. So Friday's vlog is going to be interesting because today in particular is a really interesting day. I don't have my laptop for about 4 hours because I've sent it for a security check. So basically that's that. So I kind of have to improvise, and I will be working from my phone, so I think it's gonna be interesting for me to shoot that as well. So I can't wait to see you guys. See you with my next vlog. Bye guys.